If you are active on social media and real life conversations, you must have seen many Indians supporting Russia despite the ongoing war and their close ties with West. Why? Let's talk about just that in this video. Hello, I'm Mangarg and welcome to the weekly podcast where we discuss various socio-political issues. First of all, I want to clarify that I don't support Russia's atrocity in Ukraine war and nor do I support any kind of war. This video is just a discussion on common phenomena that why do Indians support Russia on such a large scale. We'll discuss it in two parts. First, the logical reasoning and second, the historical reasoning. Let us discuss logical reasoning first. You see, Ukraine's stubbornness to join NATO does not make any sense to us. First of all, NATO promised to not extend towards Russia in 1990s. But contrary to their promise, they kept expanding. From 17 countries in 1990 to 30 today. Putin accused West of same in 2004, asking what happened to the assurances our Western partners made after disassociation of the Western Pact. We kind of agree to Putin's situation. I mean, imagine if Canada, Mexico, Cuba, etc. made a gang against United States and continuously attempted to include newer and newer countries in it. Would not US retaliate? However, in NATO's defense, these agreements were verbal and not part of the official treaty. Even though they were not part of the official treaty, how right it is to make gangs against one country? US better not say it is to prevail peace. US sounds hypocrite when projecting itself as keeper of world order. First nuke was used by US. US destroyed many countries and left them to shambles. Quoting Washington Post, Syria has become the 14th country in the Islamic world that US forces have invaded, occupied or bombed, and that too just since 1980. Let's take some of the countries that US has attacked. Iran, Libya, Lebanon, Kuwait, Iraq, Somalia, Bosnia, Afghanistan, Sudan, Kosovo, Yemen, Syria, Venezuela. Wow. US is the one who created Al-Qaeda and funded and fed many snakes till they bit right back in their hands. So it sounds absolutely horrendous and hypocrite to us when you team up against a nation and expect it to not retaliate against your gang tactics. Now second part. Historical reasoning for India's support to Russia. You see, US has always betrayed India. US did not even recognize Pakistan-funded terrorism until it started biting their hands. They helped Pakistan every way they could. Even current US-India romance too is due to the threat of China. And still, US recently provided F-16 renewal deal to Pakistan. This balancing act is total hypocrisy. Many US presidents were blatant racists, speaking openly against Indians. Remember Richard Nixon and how he used absolutely racist and sexist language to vent out his frustration with India over 1971 war? Or how in recent days, US diplomats went to POK and officially spoke against India's claim on Kashmir? Whereas, unlike US's hypocrite and self-centric foreign policy, Russia and India routinely took similar stances and supported each other on contentious international issues. Let's dig into some history as to how Russia helped India again and again and built up a mutual trust in Indo-Russian ties. In 1961, when we used military to take our own land of Goa, Daman and Diu back, the US, UK, France and Turkey condemned India, but Soviet Union opposed the proposal. In 1971, we signed the Treaty of Peace, Friendship and Cooperation, followed by the best example of our friendship, which was the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. US was strictly against the Bangladesh Liberation War, whereas India was firmly standing with Mukti Bahini of Bangladesh. As US entered the war zone led by the 75,000-ton nuclear-powered carrier carrying more than 70 fighter jets and bombers, whereas India only had the INS Vikrant with barely 20 light aircraft to protect us. As if US was not enough, UK's naval group led by the Eagle was also moving close to India. Plan was simple: to intimidate India by the western coast and the Bay of Bengal. But then, on December 13th, the Russia dispatched nuclear-armed flotilla. The Russian commanders undertook risk encircling US and UK fleet to bring them within the target. It spoke to the US and UK forces. You know what commander of British carrier said? "Sir, we're late. There are Russian atomic submarines here and a big collection of battleships." US and UK had to abandon their plans. If it was not for Russia and India, Bangladesh would not have existed today and US would have completely ignored the massacre, the linguistic discrimination etc. being done by the Pakistanis or poor Bengalis because it does not serve United States any purpose to free those suffering Bengalis. The Soviet Union and later the Russia always supported India on Kashmir. In 1995, declaring support for India's sovereignty over Kashmir, the Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev said, "We are so near that if you ever call us from the mountain tops, we will appear by your side." Moscow stood on its words. They vetoed down UNSC resolutions against India, the Kashmir matter, multiple times. They took similar stance on the Indo-Pak conflict, that it is India and Pakistan's internal conflicts and let them manage it themselves. In 1978, then Foreign Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee said that our country found only reliable friend in the form of Soviet Union. Russia also supported us in 2019 when we scrapped Article 374 on Kashmir when entire Western countries were attacking India. We not only have bilateral collaboration but also cultural, economic, and strategic collaborations. In fact, Russia supplies India most of the state-of-the-art weapons. So, as an 18-year-old teen who is still in early stages of understanding geopolitics, to me, India's support for Russia is absolutely understandable. I don't have any problem with India buying oil from Russia either, because US already sanctioned Venezuela and Iran from selling oil to the world. What are we supposed to do? Continue buying $100 a barrel oil from OPEC countries? While we stand firmly against the war in Ukraine, most of the India's general public's general support to Russia is absolutely justifiable. Accept it or not, West is an unreliable partner. So India will have to continue its balancing act.